Okay, so we're gonna draw a realistic face, and the first thing we're gonna do is draw a circle like this. And from the edges of the circle, you're going to create the sides of the face. They come down from the edge of the circle down to the chin to a sort of point. And this creates the outside shape of the face. Yes. Now, if it makes you feel more comfortable, you can erase this part. We don't need it anymore. Okay. Now we're going to create some lines that give us some basic proportions for the face and for where the features land. So the first line we're going to do is one down the very, very middle. We're going to erase this later so it does not need to be super dark. Okay, the next line you're going to do is it's the eye line, and it happens a little higher than halfway up the face, and when I do it I kind of create a small curve. Do you see this small curve? Small curve. Beautiful. Now, I also like to create space for the eyes, so I mimic that line just beneath it. Create another one. Perfect. Now, from that line to the chin, make another line. This is the nose line. You go halfway down from here to the chin to create the nose line. And then halfway from the nose line to the chin, another line is the mouth line. Okay, now you're going to start filling in the eye shape, and the eyes are placed one here, and about the same amount of space between each eye, imaginary other eye would fit in between. So you do the top first, which is like a little rainbow, leave space, and do the other eye. So just like two rainbows and a space. Here's the completed eye shape. Yes, those are pretty big. I would recommend making them just a tiny bit smaller. It's still really big. There should be room for at least one eye between each, like, tear duct. The tear duct of each eye, there should be at least room for one other imaginary eye to fit in there. we create the under eyelid, which is not exactly the same shape as the top eyelid. Mine are just a little bit less curvy. Now on the typical human eye, like a real human eye, no two eyes are the same size or shape. One is always just a little bit bigger than the other, and that's okay, yeah. So once you have your shapes down and you're satisfied with them and you think, okay, that'll work, you want to create the iris, and the iris is the colored part of your eye. And you won't see an entire circle because the eyelids cover the edges of the circle. You're just going to see partial circle, but in your mind's eye, you're going to complete that circle and make a nice little round iris. Next, you're going to do the pupil, which is the black part of our eye, just right in the middle of where the middle would be of the iris. Do both pupils. You don't need to do any shading at this stage. We're just placing the features and making sure we have the right proportions. Okay, so then, yeah, good. If you want to, you can erase some of these lines.
Have a graphite blender?
I don't know, I think I might be out. You can check in those little graphite boxes on the far left, third from the bottom. Far left, third from the bottom. Third cubby, yes, that's the graphite cubby. All right, so let's work on the nose. We don't want to make a big deal about the nose because I've learned that when we make a big deal out of the nose, it gets weird. So we're just going to create kind of a little shape. It's like almost like a little squiggle shape. Good, that's a really good nose. Okay, so let's do the mouth, and then we'll come back to more for the eyes. So just give the middle, this is going to be the middle of your mouth. And for the top lip,
Is this still the right class?
yes. I think your stuff is still out there. Do you have to go?
No.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I just some stuff.
So the top lip is like a mountain. Like two mountains. You better go check if you don't have it here. Did you guys see her phone out there? Teddy? Yeah. Okay. The bottom lip is just a little bit of a soft curve. All right. Can you wait till Tallulah gets back so I don't have too many students out and about? Okay. Are you ready? Good. Now, back to the eyes. We're going to, my eyes are a little wide open, and this is where you need to create your own adjustments, but I'm going to make a top eyelid that covers a little bit more of the eye. I think it might help. All right, and then so you can see in this one, what a shaded eye looks like compared to where we are. We're right here in our process and we're going here. So most eyes are shaded more so here because the eyelid itself creates a shadow. There's also this little piece of light that's reflected, and the iris is usually pretty dark. We also have some dark shading around the edge of the iris and darker shading around the eyelashes. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So first, an easy one is get that get that pupil completely filled in. Okay. And then you want to create a piece of light. You're going to preserve that area. Sometimes on the eyes, they're both in the same place. Sometimes you can, if you look at your own eyes using the mirror, you can kind of look at how light reflects on them. Here's the mirror. And if you look at how the light reflects on them, you can steal that idea for where you want to put the little flecks of light for your eyes. Notice if they're both the same. Notice if the light hits both of your eyes in the same way or if it's different. It's definitely, in mine, not identical. Not exactly the same thing is happening. In fact, in mine, the light is coming from over here.
Mine's hitting my pupil.
Yeah, a little bit went on my pupil and mine too. I was like, oh. It's good to observe actual things when we're trying to draw realistic. Mine was, yeah, I might have to just like bring out a little bit of the shading. Like that. Yeah. What? You can go. Okay. Figure out that. Now I recommend do some shading using your pencil, shading from the top of the iris down. You don't want to fill it all the way in because it will, if you fill it all the way in, it will eliminate the depth of and the roundness that you want to create of the iris. You want to create a sense of roundness and a sense of light. And there's a little extra shading next to the eyelid on both sides, but a little more from the top than the bottom. So, did you practice the shading techniques on the shading techniques, like that page there?
I did some.
Yeah, because this is a handy technique where you go dark on the edge and it gradually gets to lighter. And you can use your finger to smudge if you need to, and you can use your eraser to pull up if it gets just too gray. We don't want to gray it all out. We want to have some depth. We want to make it look round. Use your finger to smudge it. Maybe your kit came with a smudge stick, but I ran out.
It did.
Yeah.
Back home. Which was really nice. So when I shade like more in.
Yeah, because yours right now is going too dark to nothing. It has to go from dark to light gradually. Yeah, so you press lighter and lighter with your pencil as you move away from the dark area. It's a real skill to conquer.
Like this.
This iris needs to be more circular.
Is this
That's,
better?
I think so.
Okay.
And even here, let me see. Even like you can take your eraser and just lighten, like dab it, and it will lighten the blend wherever there's like a chunky spot.
Okay. Whoa, it's starting to look really realistic.
It's fun, right?
Uh-huh.
Don't fill in this one yet because I'm going to demo this since we're doing this video, and you save one to do shade later.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to show you this part where we shadow, we create another line. This is like your eyelid, so it's got to have some depth, and it depends on if you want it to, it really depends on the eye you're doing, because this one here has another little line that comes underneath, and then you can start adding the eyelashes. They kind of go out to the side, but then towards the front they're kind of sticking up. And then there's little ones that come off of here. There's also little shading that happens right here, like in the corner of the white. It's not just like pure white, there's a little bit of grayish. And then these lashes, you can just gradually build them up. So there's our eye. It's pretty. Oh, this, I did little sunbursts. You know how the eyes sometimes have that? That's another thing that can be added. I'm gonna look at my actual eye for a second. My personal eyes don't have those so much. They're just really, really light. Did you get some progress done, Teddy?
Yes, I did.
Good. Oh my god, that's cool. Your shading's excellent.
Thank you.
So see how I did some tiny,
Try to see what I'm looking at.
It's an angel.
Oh,
It's kind of a body and then wing, 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 archangel. So.
it'll be fun when you get to really get into those wings. See how I just did tiny little sunbursts?
uh-huh.
That's personal preference. Examine your own eye later and then you can, but don't forget one other feature we haven't done is the eyebrows. And they are,
104.
and we go till 111?
Think so?
It's on my computer, it's over there. A lot of times the top lip is shaded. Okay, so I have completed shading the eyes and I'm working on little details, making the eyelashes darker, making the eyelids have a little more depth. I created the eyebrows. I've been working on the shading of the mouth and I'm going to add the hair. Now, depending on what the hairstyle is, your ears may peek through and they usually are right around here, out from the eyes. And I like to add a neck just to give the face some context. Now, I think I'll do a side swept sort of deal with her hair. I go like this. You start out with some smooth strokes so you can kind of get the idea of the hairstyle. Like this, just to get the basics. It always helps the shape of the head feel more complete once the hairstyle's in. So if this is your hairstyle, something like this, you can go back, erase some of this, and then you'll start to get to work on shading the hair.